Gun Galleria here. Another interesting firearm to bring you today. This one is currently, well, it's an unknown. And the reason I say it's an unknown is there are 0 markings. There are no markings as to country of origin, no proof markings, nothing. I've heard these referred to as, snake eyes. I've heard these referred to as, quite a few double barrel boot pistols, all sorts of things. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to tell you, oh, hey, this is who made this. I can tell you it was made in the 1800s, and it is a rather interesting firearm. This is a 9mm Pinfire, double barrel. The hammers have what appears to be a possible snake motif. Snake, fish, I'm not quite sure. I mean, this looks like a tail fin. But, based upon the fact that some of these are called a snake eyes pistol or something similar, it's a rather interesting piece. Now, I've seen these with metal plate on the butt, but all this engraving at the time that this was made was done by hand. Now, in this situation here, in this case, the barrel was blued. The rest of this was probably not blued. It could have been silver plated, or it could just have been left the way it is. You have 2 triggers. It's not a set trigger. It's 1 trigger for each hammer. So, rather interesting firearm. In order to open it, you pull both hammers back. There is a half cock to this pistol. In this case, you swing this forward to the side, and it breaks open, just like a shotgun. Now, in this case, it's a Pinfire. These are 9mm Pinfire rounds. Now, 9mm is also 38. So, every now and then you find these that are called, 9mm Pinfire. Sometimes you call these 38 Pinfire. There is a kit online for 9mm Pinfire that you can load black powder, reusable brass casings, and shoot 9mm rounds through these pistols. Now, this is rifled, and how these would have been fired is you would put the 2 rounds in, and as you see, they protrude above the barrel. Now, I'm not going to fully load this. I don't want to have any form of accidental discharge, so I'm not going to fully lock it down or anything. But that's how these Pinfires loaded. These aren't common to find anymore. I did have to pay a pretty good premium to get these. But if you want to have something that you can make a shadow box out of later, or if you actually want to, give a demonstration of how something like this worked, this is pretty much the only way to go. You have to have actual ammunition. Now, once it was loaded, bring it back down, swing this back into place, and you're ready to go. Now, you could technically, if you were brave enough, probably carry in this kind of configuration. It's a half cock. These would not have been on the pins. They would have been above it. Now, from what I can tell, more extravagant or newer versions of these actually had a safety here. Now, this one never had any form of safety. And that safety was also a rear sight. And you would push it back, and it would be under the hammers, and the pins would be protruding through up, but they wouldn't be in such a way that the hammer could drop and fire the pistol. I believe this design here predated that by quite a bit. Your front sight is just a bead, just like on a shotgun. This is almost like a miniaturized shotgun in a way, except for it's actually shooting bullets instead of shot. But you would pull the hammers back and rear trigger, and it would fall, fire, front trigger, fires the right one. I mean, in an emergency, I mean, obviously you're first going to go to this trigger. Your hand just naturally, okay, you're going to go there, which is this hammer. And then a secondary follow-up shot would have been back here with this hammer. There have been discussion of pistols like this being used in India by people who are fighting off, say, a tiger attack or something. Not exactly sure. I've heard of these pistols being used in places like Brazil. Again, I can't tell you country of origin for this. I cannot tell you manufacturing year. I cannot tell you manufacturer, because there are absolutely no markings on this gun. But it is a fascinating piece from the 1800s. And that's what I'm typically looking for, are unusual and fascinating pieces. And that's definitely what this is. Thank you for watching.